Creating a Learning Organization by Angela Brissett Martin, Katia Pizarro Latore, and Deborah Ann Sarian. TC Consulting has created an ideal tool, a handbook to make possible becoming a learning organization. We developed the theory into practice of the true meaning of a learning organization. Before we address the magic becoming a learning organization, we have to observe that a learning organization expands their capacity to create the results it truly desires, where new and expansive patterns of thinking are nurtured, where collective aspiration is set free, and where people are continually learning to see the whole together. We also need we also needed to consider the main foundation of a learning organization, which cover the main principles: system thinking, personal mastery, mental models, shared vision, and team learning. The process of becoming a learning organization consists of acquiring, processing, and storing information. We need to consider what really blocks, what interferes before achieving this learning process. We need to observe the past experiences of success or failure. We need to make connections between actions and outcomes. Organization need to shift environment if it's needed. All organization need to go over the views and interests in so many perspectives. They need to make projections, images, future visions, reflections on organizational theories. They might also be present, and they need to be enhanced by the experiences of any member of the workforce. At the end, we can have a true picture of what it really means to be a learning organization. What are the characteristics of a learning organization? They all have open communication, risk taking, support and recognition for learning, resources to perform the job, teams, rewards for learning, training and learning environment, knowledge management.
In creating this manual, we took much effort in clearly outlining the steps in creating a learning organization. These steps are applicable to all forms of organizations, whether they be business, educational. The steps were broken down into frames. We looked at the first stage, which we consider top priority goals. These top priority goals consist of having a strong commitment, forming a powerful coalition, also accessing systems capabilities, and making sure that within the organization that it had systems in place to manage a learning process. We, in the short stage and first stage, we address things as linking learning with the organization's operations, and most importantly, communicating a vision. The second stage and medium long-term goals were addressed by removing redundancy and bureaucracy in the system, acquiring best technology. The manual addresses the need to create strategies for learning, system-wide learning, and most importantly, creating short-term wins to ensure that employees are rewarded for performance for each stage of the development. The third and final stage looks at long-term goals. In achieving these goals, we look at capturing learning, and in capturing learning to release knowledge to the entire team, also measuring learning, and critical at this stage is creating a culture for learning, where each member of the team, staff, leadership, and the board, all constituents, are adapting and improving in order to create an effective learning organization.
Solving problems and challenges. We multitask and oh my god, I screwed this up. All right. Can I start that over again?
Go.
You can cut it, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. There are 3 key systems important for a learning organization. 1, system thinking. 2, technology. And 3, communication. A powerful tool is to solve problems and address challenges amongst the organizational as teams and also within the leadership. The next system is technology. A technology team is dedicated to providing new technology for the organization. Communication skills are of utmost importance. Goals need to be set clearly. Teams need to be aware of principle, vision, and the value of what they do within the organization.
The next stage of the manual speaks to the issue of managing change and transition within learning organizations. Creating learning organizations is a system and process of movement from one stage into various stages. Managing change, as noted by Cutter, famed writer on change process, speaks to creating a sense of urgency. The manual also deals with the need for building a team, creating an uplifting vision and strategy, communicating the vision clearly, and removing obstacles. In the change process, it will be required that we stick with the process regardless of failures or regardless of seeming difficulty in managing the process. In the end, the final stage will evolve into creating a new culture within the organization. For ease and development of organizations, the manual has created a draft which is titled Reframing Cutter's Change Stages. This addresses the need for developing structure, human resource, political, and symbolic frames in learning organization. This addresses the need to create effective structure, develop and coordinate strategies. Under the human resource frame, it looks at staff input, training needs. Under the political frame, the manual addresses the need to use power effectively, utilize key players, and the symbolic frame looks at creating a logo and a marketing plan that drives the staff to support change as well as becoming effective learning organizations.
In order to reach success, to be able to reach the stages of structure of human resource, political, and symbolic frames, organizations need to assess this learning process. They all need to ask themselves, where is the organization going? What is the true path of the whole organization? Do all teams coordinate tasks? Can they actually see integration and communication among teams? Do all teams share the vision? Thus, your organization, do organizations work with the right people? Is there trust in the evaluation process, in this measurement process? Organizations need to be open for short and long changes. The key strategy to answer all these questions is the leadership needed for learning organizations. We need to have present change agents, good role models, empower followers, and give meaning to organizational life by actions.
At the end, the most important thing in our manual is structure for leadership. It is important to create a vision that drives where your organization is headed. A vision, purpose, and mission of an organization defines the company's journey and where it is headed. Leaders are the motivators in the organization. Leaders need to understand to be acceptant, tolerant, kindness, respect, caring, sharing, and giving of others. They need to know how to treat other employees and be receptive to all their abilities and their as well as challenges and anything else that they can add to the organization. Leadership is key in all of this, and it is included in our manual.
Grow with us. Creating a learning organization is now available at your local bookstores and on Amazon Books. Do not hesitate and get your handbook right away.